anybody else in the company.
Collaborating with Dave involve a sharp stick.
Collaborating with Dave involves throwing the calendar in the garbage can.
Well, that's kind of where we are right now. But to be fair, that calendar started in the garbage can with us. So,
well, the difference is you don't have promised deadlines. And because you're not in Sterling Stone, there's no dependencies around you.
Can I just say though? I mean, my promises are being broken a lot. Like I'm only like 5 or 6 days past my original deadline. That's a plus, man. It used to be months past the original.
Yes, Dave, you're a superstar.
Less bad equals good.
Once upon a time, 3 writers helped crack open the indie publishing world. Then they rode into the sunset, building bigger stories, taking bigger swings, and learning what actually lasts when the noise dies down. Now the band is back together, older, sharper, and uninterested in shortcuts. This is the Smarter Artist Show with Sean Platt, Johnny B. Truant, and David W. Wright. It's the same 3 voices you know talking about the craft and commerce of storytelling, from the work they're creating to the TV shows and movies they can't stop thinking about. Shop talk for artists playing the long game in a creative world that never slows down. If you've been here since the early days, welcome back. If you're new, pull up a chair. You're listening to the Smarter Artist Show. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Smarter Artist Show. We've made it 3 full episodes already. Can you believe it?
Without having to take a break, with all of us being here, that'll go on forever.
Yeah. Foreshadowing.
Well played, Johnny.
Well, speaking of that, I just want to dip right into the comments because we posted the first episode on the wrong YouTube channel, by the way, all my fault. But we got a lot of comments welcoming us back, and
oh God,
I love that we'll lose all of those when we put it back in the right place.
Yes.
Oh, just tell them to go leave the exact same comment.
Yeah, can you go and leave the exact?
Yeah. I didn't know there were comments. I'm genuinely interested in this. Keep talking.
I tried to do that once. By the way, I tried to I don't remember the details, but I remember somebody sent. Oh, I know what it is. People would send me hey, your book was great, and I'd be like, can you go post that exactly? Whatever it was like I really needed it. It was something where I was desperate enough to say something like that, and of course nobody fucking did it. So it's pretty great. Good times.
That'd be cool if you could take a minute and leave that on Amazon. Nah.
Fuck you, Mr. Author Guy.
So there's love in the comments, is what you're saying, Dave?
Yeah, I'm just gonna read a few. Otherwise,
is there any hate in the comments?
No, not yet. I mean, give it time.
Okay.
Any lust?
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Are there any? It is a podcast comment.
No, not yet. Give it time. You're giving them too many ideas already. Okay. Welcome back. You were missed. So excited to see you guys every week again. That was from Rowdy Rooster. I'm not going to read all the usernames exactly as they are.
I'll bet it's not actually a Rowdy Rooster. It's probably actually a human. Fucking AI.
Marcus says, when I read your email as a name for your new podcast, you chose the one that you're most proud of. My heart skipped a beat, and I thought, better off on Dave? I don't actually care about the name, though. Just glad you're back. I'm not even a writer. I just enjoy listening to you talk bullshit.
Better off on Dave.
Yeah, and just to be clear, that's Sean. He's not speaking for all of us. That's not my favorite name that I'm most proud of. I would have chosen better off on Dave, too.
Morondo Ami or Amy, I don't know. Yay, this is good for the soul. It's Daveology. It's funny that they mentioned Daveology because, that is my cult that I'm starting. So,
Dave, will you write a book called Daveology?
I'm already on it.
Okay.
It's my plan to avoid taxation in my next incarnation.
I think
the
it's
L. Ron
smart.
Hubbard plan of church.
No taxation without incarnation.
Where... Wow, Christmas came early, very early this year. So cool to see all 3 of you doing a podcast. First start as an author, and now this. I went back to full-time writing this year, too. This is automatically my favorite podcast. Again, LOL. Well, hold on. I'm looking for the one that was...
I also resent putting artist and author in the same category as this podcast.
Yeah, we can move on, Dave.
No, there's
no.
one.
I want to hear the love.
No, because your comment about like us missing a podcast, I can't find it now. It disappeared. But anyway, somebody said they can't wait for for us to disappear again.
That'll never happen.
That's fair.
Not more than 0 out of 3 will not show up. But
So anyway, let's move on. We're going to do the something cools, but first, the topic of the show. We're going to be talking about fictional worlds, our favorite fictional worlds, and yeah,
I
that's it.
should have prepared for that. All right, I'm going to ride on whatever Sean says.
I'm sure between the three of us, we can fill a few minutes talking about bullshit. So
If not, we'll talk about Scientology.
So do we want to start with our something cool? Does anybody have a something cool this week?
I have something cool. I know
Of
Johnny
course
has
you
something
do.
cool too. Johnny,
I do. I actually had one before it was supplanted by the one that you're talking about.
Well, you can do.
I will be
either.
saving that for next time.
Oh,
The
all right.
other one. I will be saving the other one.
All right.
For
Well,
the very next episode, episode 4, correct, Johnny?
Correct. Episode 4. They're on the dime. Bitch.
all right. Well, then I'm gonna go. So my something cool is the movie Begonia. Have you seen this yet, Johnny?
I have not.
So is it Yorgos Lanthimos? Is that how you say his
Oh,
name?
yeah. Lanthimos, I think.
Yeah, I just love how ballsy this dude is as a storyteller. He did. I think the first thing I saw from him wasn't his first movie, but it was the first time I noticed him was The Favorite. And then I just went back and watched like anything that he had.
Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Yeah, that's Killing of a Sacred Deer and The Lobster. I really like those.
The
I was
Lobster-
mediocre on The Favorite.
I liked The Favorite. Well, the first time I saw The Favorite, I didn't know what the hell I was watching. I rewatched it again.
That was the problem, honestly. I thought it was a normal comedy, but it's a fucking whack job comedy.
If you watch it again, knowing his vibe, I think it might land differently. Although the last movie he made, I think, before Begonia was Poor Things, and I did not like Poor Things.
Yeah, I think Poor Things generally received a "you should maybe be jailed for making this movie" sort of a recommendation.
Yeah, it was not my favorite Yorgos movie, but his new one also has Emma Stone and it has Jesse Plemons in it, and I think
They are married, aren't they?
no, Jesse Plemons is married to Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, okay.
But it's really good. So I loved it. I think Johnny, I think you'll like it. Dave, I never know what you're gonna like or not like.
Oh, it's on my radar. I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
It's we watched it. We watched it this last weekend, and it was great.
It's not exactly family viewing movies.
no, it's not. It ended, and there was like this moment of pure quiet as the credits come up, and Cindy says, "Well, that was above my pay grade." and then I'm like, I really, really liked it. However, it could have gone in a different direction, and I would not have liked it. So it's one of those where you have to you have to appreciate the premise and then what's done with the premise. And so I think it's one of those, definitely, well, I would say this about all his movies, but your mileage may vary. But I liked the direction that it went, and I loved the storytelling choices, and more than anything, I just love how, not that I would compare him to Charlie Kaufman. I don't think that they're similar filmmakers, but I think that they're what they have in common is that their signature is there. You know, that they are very allegiant to their vision and the story that they want to tell, and somehow they get people to give them money to make these crazy things. It's like
What? Are you still giving your money to P.T. Anderson, by the way?
Oh yeah, dude.
Because I heard one thing after, or one battle after another, I heard very poor things sort of responses to. Like they just thought that was shitty.
dude,
It like won awards and shit.
If it won awards, then it must be a great movie. I've never disagreed with the Academy.
yeah, but who said it's shitty?
I just heard that from a bunch of different
financially,
people.
Financially, it was the best of all of his movies, even though it didn't, make $1 billion like they wanted, but still it did well.
Well,
No,
I mean, I don't care about awards or gross. Just the movie itself, I thought I heard was.
No, the movie. interestingly, like that's okay. So I have a history with P.T. Anderson. I do. He's one of my favorite creators. I love his movies.
Same.
And
Except There Will Be Blood.
but
I didn't like There Will Be Blood either.
There Will Be Blood is so good. I don't even understand you, Dave.
No, I didn't fucking like that movie. It just like ended, and I'm like, oh, that movie ended.
It was too depressing for me. How's
That's
that?
weird. That is a weird thing for you to say.
And I'm doing a movie with Yorgos about kids that are killed on Christmas morning. So for me, that's saying something.
Better have a place for Emma Stone in it.
I really do love. I love the music. I love the acting. I love everything about There Will Be Blood. But I hated it in the theater. And this is a history that, like, Magnolia and was probably the last movie that I just loved the shit out of in the theater. And then I have this weird thing where I see his movies and I'm like, I didn't really like that. I was really disappointed. I wanted to love it, and I'm disappointed. And then I watch it again, and then I really connect with it a second time, and a third time I like it more and more. The exceptions are The Master, which I think has some of the most amazing cinematography and scenes individually, but it just does not hold together for me as a full movie. I'm always disappointed at the ending. And Inherent Vice, which I still have not made it through. I've tried 3 times and I'm like, this sucks. But
like, you liked Phantom Thread? I thought that was another
I love
crowd
Phantom
not
Thread.
favorite.
No, I love Phantom Thread. And I actually watched Phantom Thread like 2 months ago, and it's really good. It's got like the
So
best...
if you don't like a 3-hour movie, just keep watching it until you do like it as a lesson.
Well, it's because I appreciate him as a creator, so I'm willing to like steep in it. I know he's a little more demanding, and I'm willing to. So, but the difference is with One Battle After Another, we saw it in the theater, and I enjoyed the hell out of it in the theater. Like, we left, and I was like, I don't know the last time I've enjoyed P.T. Anderson in the theater that much. So no, it was a definite home.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And
that's a win.
Johnny, do you have something cool?
Mine's personal. It supplanted something that the rest of you could appreciate. So Sean and I are working on Unicorn Heathens right now. And this is just for a little bit of history. We haven't written anything together in quite a while. It's been years, right? Maybe 2 years.
Yeah, at least.
And I haven't released much at all in that time. So so I'm out of practice, and I'm certainly out of practice, the two of us. And then even toward the end, like even during the period when we were writing a ton, toward the end, I felt out of practice on that too, because it changed so much. And that's largely my thing, is that it I don't know, it changed. And there was like this sweet spot where it was really fluid and things were great. And I felt like today was the first moment where I felt like we were refining it. So we decided to change kind of the format. It's now going to be just this enormous, super thick book. I think at this point I thought it was going to be smaller, but it's going to be this huge, multi-volume, whatever, but all in one book. And just
like the original Unicorn Western.
What do you say?
Like the original Unicorn.
Like the original Unicorn Western. But the original Unicorn Western was released in individual books originally, and this, I don't think we have any plans to do that. It's just like gonna be the book when it's done.
Yeah, it'll probably be the length of the full saga, which was 9 individual little mini books.
Right,
quarter of a million
words.
This is getting constructed.
Yeah, and that was so, and that gave me a weird permission to like have fun with it, because I'm sure this sort of thing will come up, but my attitude towards publishing has changed, and I think you guys has too. And it's much more like, I want to write when I want to write. We always did that, but it's like the idea of spending a bunch of time to create one enormous volume rather than looking at a funnel and things that could be sold quickly is new. And I like it. So, but anyway, reading through some revised beats that Sean gave me was like, that took a few back and forth of like, I don't remember how you gave me beats. I don't remember how much detail. I don't remember what it felt like. And then you gave me a set, and I said, well, but here I have this question and this question. And then the revisions that came back were what made that kind of click for me. So that was super cool. And it was for such a desert between, Johnny and Sean sort of golden era books, that felt really cool.
It was also really fun because I think that one of the ways that Sterling and Stone operates that I think makes us really creatively vibrant is that people are in the space that, like, we try to get everybody in their zone of genius, their zone of excellence. So if you don't like writing outlines, you shouldn't have to write outlines, because there's plenty of people in the company who love outlines. If you like drafting. Like you do the thing that you like. So ideation is really fun for me, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. And that's really great if like I'm trying to get the thing that is easy for me, which is basically just fucking off and trying to make Johnny laugh. Like essentially
there were a lot of laughs in that. There were some really in a very specific way that's impossible for me to describe without giving you specifics. And even if I gave you specifics, which is pointless, nobody would get why they're funny. But like there were some things in there that I was just like, okay, that's awesome.
So it's fun. It's just like I'm trying to make my friend laugh, and I know like we have a 12 something plus year history of writing together, so I know what's going to make him laugh, and I know what's going to make him think and expand on the ideas. And I think that's the magic of collaboration, is if you're both like going with the tide. So if each person is doing the thing that comes natively to them, that's a beautiful collaboration. So I'm just telling the story in the way I want to tell it to Johnny, and then he's telling it in the way that is comfortable for him. And then, he'll bounce that back to me, and I'll tighten it up, and a reader will eventually be able to enjoy something that really could have only been created with our particular chemistry. And that's cool.
Well, it is interesting too, because you said that, one of the things about Sterling and Stone is everybody's strength. I'm not in Sterling and Stone anymore. And it's interesting that we still have that pairing, even so, right? Like you can bring your specialty, I guess, because you know what mine is, right? Like mine is articulation.
I know how to collaborate. I collaborate with you very differently than I collaborate with Dave or anybody else in the company.
Collaborating with Dave involve a sharp stick.
Collaborating with Dave involves throwing the calendar in the garbage can.
Well, that's kind of where we are right now. But to be fair, that calendar started in the garbage can with us. So,
well, the difference is you don't have promised deadlines. Is the and because you're not in Sterling and Stone, there's no dependencies around you.
Can I just say though? I mean, my promises are being broken a lot. Like I'm only like 5 or 6 days past my original deadline. That's a plus, man. It used to be months past the original.
Yes, Dave, you're a superstar.
Less bad equals good.
Can we build a statue? And the plaque will say, "Only 1 week late." Like, that would be great.
And fuck you. Okay, so seeing as Unicorn Western was born as a big fuck you to me,
totally
challenging you all that you couldn't write a Western without research, I'm going to issue another challenge for you. I'm going to say that you can't possibly have a scene where Kool-Aid Man breaks through a wall and goes, "Oh, yeah."
We can uniquely have that scene.
Yeah, like that's actually low-hanging fruit.
Making a note right now.
Wow, okay.
You don't even.
That's not even hard. Give me something hard,
Dave. You don't even know what this book is about. Like, you think you gave us a challenge? That's going to be in next week's work.
Wow.
I just wrote down Kool-Aid Man crashes through wall and says, "Oh, yeah."
Well, now I'll have to read it.
I'm sure you will. Maybe you'll get to the wedding scene.
That you thought like this was your trump card. You were going to stump us right now.
Well, I mean, you're using a licensed character. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Kool-Aid Man, they're highly litigious.
Yeah, but in books you can get away with that shit. I'm not a lawyer.
You know that Wreck-It Ralph was in the original because Wreck-It Ralph was in the theaters, and we even had him say like, "I'm gonna break.
I'm gonna wreck it." He says, "I'm gonna wreck it."
I'm gonna wreck it. Yeah.
But he's not called Wreck-It Ralph. He's just a character who's clearly Wreck-It Ralph.
Clearly Wreck-It Ralph.
Fuck it, Frankie.
Yeah. There you go.
Putting that out there. Okay, so getting back on track, my something cool is a show that came out a few years ago. It's on the MGM channel, and I got it like on Amazon for like 99 cents. And I was like,
that's just a fisting funnel, though. It's like $14.99 the next month.
Well, they know you'll forget, and I will. but I will say that this show is very good. It's Britannia. It's either of you seen it?
Wait. tell me this wasn't your something cool last week or the week before.
I don't remember.
We did talk about it somewhere, but I watched last week's episode and it wasn't that, or 2 weeks ago. I didn't have one last week.
I remember.
I have not heard about this.
No,
so
no,
it
was
hasn't
at a
happened
company meeting, and he talked about it. Okay, I'm wrong.
Okay, so it's a historical fantasy about when the Romans invaded the British Isles, and it's just so well done. And it's got druids, and it's like supernatural elements
on my series.
What's that?
Nothing. Just keep talking.
Anyway,
Let's focus on that joke. Please explain it, Sean. Go ahead, Dave.
It's very well done. Surprisingly good. Because like I'd barely heard of the show. I remember when it came out, they're like, "This is gonna be the next Game of Thrones." But it's buried on a channel that I don't think a lot of people have or watch or whatever. But I loved it. It's already ended after like 3 seasons, but I've only watched like parts of the first season so far. I'm not that deep into it, but I really love the vibe of it. So yeah,
that's awesome.
That's my something cool.
I love it. The threading of like supernatural stuff into historical stuff, I think, is always an interesting way to handle that.
Yeah, and this kind of ties in with, what we're talking about today, which is like our favorite fictional worlds, world building in general. And the reason I vibe with this is because, I've been plotting this fantasy book out for a while, and it's sort of set in a similarly inspired era, although more fantasy than historical. But like you could definitely they have the similar themes and vibes and all that shit. So today I'm going to talk about, our favorite worlds and world building. And who would like to start? I mean, I know Johnny loves Dune. I don't know if, you want
I do love Dune. All right, yeah, I'll start.
On Dune.
Yeah, no, I will. Well, because the reason that I like that world so much is it's believable to me. So that's different from realistic. Because realistic is, I guess, in the eye of the beholder to some degree, but like it's so internally consistent and grounded in real stuff, which I always appreciate, because if you're going to ask me to take a fantastical leap of some sort at some point, you got to ground everything that you can beforehand, I think. Or it's entirely fantasy. It's entirely, and there's nothing that applies. Like, that's fine. But that's why I always like Michael Crichton too, is because even when he invented something that was kind of nutty, it was always grounded in real science to some degree, which is what I like to do. And that's what I like about Dune so much, is like the everything makes sense to me. Like there's even a section in the back of the first Dune book called The Ecology of Dune. It's like an appendix, and it explains like the sandworm cycle. And it's like, you aren't even asked to just believe that there's this desert planet where people can survive. It's all explained. Like there's a reason for it, which I won't spoil. And I always think that shit is super cool.
Yeah. So Dune, the only reason I read Dune was because I'd been writing with Johnny for like 6 or 7 years at the time. And it's his favorite. It was that and Sphere constantly. Michael Crichton's Sphere kept getting
the book, not the movie.
Yeah. But they kept getting, both of those things were referenced a lot. And so I felt like I needed to absorb those so that I would get some of these references. And I found Dune, like a really, really like rich food. Like it's just, there's so much there, and it's like way too many calories. Like, so, and that's not a diss on Dune. Like, I get why it is such an enduring universe. I get why it was considered unfilmable for so long. I get why it's big, but it's a little bit too much for me. It's why I don't really resonate with like deep fantasy and stuff. Like it's just, although growing up I loved, like, the first world that I actually fell in love with was Dragonlance. Margaret Wise and Tracy Hickman, collaborators, but they would write these like fantasy world of the world of Kryn, and I loved the character.
I read those too, and I swear, like, I had like the paperback books and read them in school, and I don't remember anything about them other than like the covers.
Oh man, I remember everything. I remember Sturm and Tasselhoff, and I loved those books. But they're a lot. Like, it's a lot of world to take care of. I really like worlds that are I mean, like, take something that isn't necessarily thought of as a world and make it a world. So like Breaking Bad is a great example where that's just like that's just an Albuquerque story about, Walter White making meth and whatever, but it feels like a universe. It feels like the people in charge, Vince Gilligan and company, know everything about that world. They know how everybody's connected, everybody has backstories. There's just something really tangible and believable about everything in that
Well,
show.
we're back to believable. Let me ask you a question about Dune because I'm kind of curious about this. So I didn't know that you found it rich, but the what you're describing as like a very rich, too many calories is exactly how I feel about Imagica, one of Dave's favorites, I believe, right? Clive Barker.
I felt the same way about Imagica.
Yeah, Imagica is like it's awesome if I could take it. Like I've given up on it twice because I'm just like it's too much. But
That's funny. I've gifted that book to like 5 people, and the only person that absolutely loved it as much as I did was probably the guy that he worked at the gas station. He worked at the gas station.
Like
He wasn't a creative. He wasn't he wasn't as well learned as you all are, and he fucking loved it. Everybody else I gave it to though, like, it's too hard to read.
it's
not
just
that
felt
it was
like
hard
too.
to read. It was
Well,
it was like-
not what you guys are saying. I
it's
had
like
other
it was
friends
wearing creative brass knuckles.
I feel that way about Clive Barker in general, though. But with his like the Damnation Game or even the Books of Blood, which I really like. It's like, but they're still in the real world, and that gives me enough. But his language is so flowery. I mean, not in a bad way, but it's so rich that it's like I feel like it's exactly. I've compared it to a very rich dessert. So anyway, my question is, it's not really a question. It's more of a pondering. Is I don't feel that way about Dune at all, but I do feel that way about other books. So that phenomenon exists in me, and I'm wondering if it's because I'm able to logically assemble a lot of what. So like, just let me give you a few. So in the world of Dune, there are mentats, which are like human computers. They're just basically like super savants because they had this whole like technology war that we're coming up to in like 10 years in the US. That's going to happen, and it's going to be Ix all over again. But anyway, well, that joke didn't land at all. But
because it's reality.
because it's reality. Or like the Bene Gesserit sisters are like, they've seeded prophecies to allow them they have protection when they go to a new planet, because there are these prophecies about these gods who come back, or these witches. And then the things that they can do physically with like the voice and like the special things they can do are all just hyper training of things that anybody could, in theory, train, at least with a suspension of disbelief in this world. So I'm wondering if I don't feel that way and you do, because I'm such a science guy. Like
yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if that's what it is.
That is
So
absolutely.
I don't have to take a leap on those things. So it doesn't feel rich to me.
Yeah, I would refer to Dune as Johnny Core. Like,
Yeah,
that
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's there's so many like Johnny tropes, and I don't know if they were like born because of Dune,
Chicken
or,
and egg, right?
right, but I absolutely, like, I'm glad I read it. I felt like it gave me insight into you as a creator and a person, and I think that's really valuable in a collaboration. But I was not in any way driven to go read the sequels, and like, like, one was enough.
Well, let
One
me share an
was enough.
anecdote about that, actually, because that's interesting. So after I reread Dune, I don't know, a few years ago, I specifically thought, damn, I wish I could write my Dune. And then I realized, I feel like, this is the part that I'm going to be curious about your reaction to, I feel like I already have. And it's called The Beam.
Oh yeah,
Very
yes.
different application, but similar in lore and everything. Do you see that parallel? Even though
yeah,
Dune wasn't
absolutely.
totally your jam?
Dude, if you weren't averse to it, I would still want to write The Beam. I think the Beam, when The Beam was
just too
originally
hard.
conceived, I thought, this is our Star Trek. That's what I refer to it as. This is our Star Trek. This is a forever series. This world is big and expansive, and we could take it in any direction. Okay, now there's a series that just takes place in 2083 in the dead South America region. Like, it felt like a bottomless well story possibility. So yeah, I absolutely think that. And
It's just too much, man. That's the problem is I'm so allegiant to facts and believability that I can't suspend any of that. And I'm like trying to keep that shit in my head is so exhausting. Writing that fifth book was so hard.
Well,
I know it was, but I think again, it's where you control the camera. I think that it'd be interesting to set something in that world that's like 90% disconnected from everything else, and regionally and character wise. And so, like, because I know there's like at this point well over 1 million words worth of like it's not just that there's 1 million words worth of story, it's very dense story. And so there's a lot to keep track of. Dave would have already killed himself.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was responsible for one of the beam.
Well, I will say, going back to last week's episode where we talked about AI, this is a practical use of AI that I could see compiling like all the information in the books to keep like a Wikipedia of sorts of it. Because we struggled with that with even Yesterday's Gone. I mean, that is, even though it's, a post-apocalyptic series, there are complicated timelines and shit. And every time that I write back in that world, I either need to reset or I have to reread. And that's a huge commitment. And I think this is a place where AI can really help out with world.
Yeah. Well, so two things. First of all, yes, I agree that is a good use for AI, especially as it gets more and more developed. Instead of write me a beam book, it be the container that holds all the lore, so that if I have questions, I can say, hey, when was Chloe Shaw born again? And you could just ask that question
absolutely,
and get that answer. But I also think that again, you control the camera. So like I'm writing Mauricio's Gone, right now, and actually you're going over a draft of Mauricio's Gone, and it's set where he's been sent into another multiverse and his memory's been fucked up. So like
that's our pink smoke.
give yourself some tools so that you don't have to be accountable to like every moment.
Yeah, but dude, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when we wrote La Fleur de Blanc, and you were like, just leave out the flower parts and I'll fill them in. And I was like, no, I need to understand them because those things are going to work their way into the plot. That if you remove the ability to make all those little callbacks, that robs the whole project of all the fun. So it's a catch-22 for me. Like, if I can't go deep into the details and tie it intimately into something that exists, if it's part of that world, it's not any fun. It's like, you remember how much trouble we got into with the future of sex and like a tie-in book there because it was so hard to tie everything together. But I was like, I have to do it. I have to do it.
Yes, I think that was one of the wayward turns that we took.
Oh, but that was such a great project. Yeah.
Because it was so complicated. And then the complication is like, is this complication for the author's enjoyment or the reader's enjoyment?
Oh, the authors. Fuck the reader. Like, I want to do it. You know what I mean?
I have some thoughts on the difficulty of getting into Clive Barker, and I'm going to relate it to music a little bit. I'm thinking the first time I listened to anything that I liked, like Metallica or Tool, or anytime I listened to almost any band that later on became one of my favorites, I didn't like it immediately. Like, it took time to kind
Anderson, man.
I like Magnolia immediately. That's the first thing I saw by him.
Right. Oh, well, you didn't see Boogie Nights first?
No, I saw Magnolia first.
Oh, wow. That's a great first movie to see. It didn't put you off that it was almost 4 hours.
No, the only thing that bothered me was that scene where the kid was on the game show and he had to piss. I also had to piss, and I didn't want to leave the theater at that moment because it was so intense and building. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm like feeling this."
Is that why you've written a piss scene into every?
Yeah,
single
I figure PT can do it. Why not me?
He puts the P in PT.
PP. PP Wright, my new nickname, author name. Anyway, I think for instance, my son, like, I've listened to some rap, for most of my life, like the bigger stuff. My son listened to what I called mumble rap back in the day.
Oh yeah, mine too.
Like Juice WRLD and shit. And at first I was dismissive. I said it all sounded the same. But then I started listening with them because we go out on drives and we
No,
talk.
you were right the first time.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. I was wrong. And I'm gonna say when you're steeped into something and you have the vocabulary to understand it, it becomes a much richer experience. And I dismissed something in a snobby sort of way that I later came to like, no, there's good shit. There is shit out there, but there's also very good shit. And you can see how it influences other music and other genres. And I think that's the same with reading. Anytime I read a new book by a writer that I'm not familiar with, it takes me a while to get into that. But once I'm into it, like, I want to read more by them. I can enjoy. I have the vocabulary and maybe the flavor palette to enjoy it more.
Yeah,
And
I think that's a recurring theme of this episode. I mean, we started out with talking about Yorgos, right? And like, I needed to watch. Like, I appreciated The Favorite way more the second time. I usually appreciate great art shouldn't be super simple and super accessible, and so, but not everything needs to be great art. Some stuff is just entertainment, but I think of P.T. Anderson, for example, as more of an artist than an entertainer. Kendrick is somebody like Kendrick to me is the opposite of mumble rap. Like, it's very dense. It requires a lot of the listener, but you get rewarded for repeat listening. You're like, fuck, there's a lot going on here. And I don't know, like, we're all busy, so it's hard to find art that's worth all of the revisiting. But like, when you find it, it is, and it's like a universe, like we're
Yeah,
talking
Dave,
about.
what was the tie to the Clive Barker universes in that music thing? You were talking about the worlds of Clive Barker.
Well, because I started with A Great and Secret Show. That was my first Clive Barker book.
I like
and I
that
feel
one
like
too.
that's a simpler gateway. What's that? You did too?
I did like that, yeah.
Okay.
I've liked everything. I even liked Magica. I just couldn't tolerate it. It was too much.
Well, I'm just thinking because I got into his rich language then, and it intimidated the fuck out of me. I didn't want to write after reading those two books. But I feel like because I dipped my toe in the pool and I was like, okay, I get this, I like this. And then a Magica, like, I think if I started with Magica, I probably would have been put off too. I don't know. But yeah, so back to world building. What is your favorite world? Johnny, I'm assuming Dune. Sean? Mm-hmm.
Certainly one of them. I honestly, I just, let me just answer. I don't have a follow-up, but I don't know that Dune, if Dune were my favorite world, I think I would like all of the books as much, but I like the first book way more than the others.
Did you read all of them?
Well, I read the original 7 books through God Emperor, which I think Frank Herbert, I don't know if he wrote more than that, but then, and maybe I should read more since Kevin J. Anderson does them now and I like him, like I know him. But that to me seems like if I loved the world, this is me diagnosing me, then I would think that I would be into all of them, but I'm not. I don't care about the world enough to once Paul Atreides is no longer the central character, which happens kind of in Heretic to some degree, but certainly by Children of Dune, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know how consistent this answer will be. Like, if you asked me a week ago or you asked me a month from now, but right now, thinking about it, I love the world of Batman, and I love it because I grew up with Batman. Like, he was I don't have an allergy to superheroes in the same way that Johnny does, but growing up, I did read a lot of comics, but I did think, okay, superheroes are kind of silly, but Batman is not. I took Batman very seriously. I thought
Batman's the one I could always get into.
I love how he's changed over the years. I love how they're kind of, there's some things you're just always allegiant to, but you can reinvent it over and over. I think a great universe should allow itself for reinvention. You know, like, I love mucking around with the public domain, and 10 minutes after Batman, in 15 years or whatever, when it goes public domain, I'll be all over that shit. I already know what story I'm writing. And so I like universes that I would want to participate in as a creator. And I absolutely know what my take on Batman would be. And so that's a world that I find really interesting and really expandable. Growing up, I loved Star Wars. I thought Star Wars was an amazing universe, but I will say that it's been eroded for me. Just like there's just too much of it, and
How
and I don't-
wooed.
yeah, I think that I was in I saw Phantom Menace on opening day, but I also saw it like a month or 2 months or whenever it came out after The Matrix. And
did you see Phantom Menace with like the utmost of expectations, just slobbering and
Yes.
salivating? Because I think that the problem with that movie and that prequel trilogy and sequel trilogy is not just the movies themselves, although I've seen Phantom Menace a few times and it doesn't stop sucking. I think it's compared to the expectations. Oh my God, the trilogy was so beloved, the 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, we had, I think Return of the Jedi was 1984, so we'd been waiting 15 years, and they're 15 years that were like childhood adjacent. So, you know, that does affect it too, for sure. But I watched Phantom Menace weirdly over winter break because Ethan was home, and there's just something nostalgic about us like watching old Star Wars shit together, and that's the one he wanted to put on. And it's bad. Like there's a lot of bad choices made in that movie. You know, that
I
have
think the
nothing to do
kid
with
in Phantom Menace is the same kid from Jingle All the Way.
Yes, that's a
Jesus
true
Christ,
story.
that poor kid.
Did you all watch Andor?
I
have
did
not
watch
seen
Andor, and I did think it was very good. Yes, I'm
Okay.
not saying there hasn't been great Star Wars stuff in, you know, post George Lucas. There absolutely has been, but I think that I think that the prequels made some big mistakes, and then I think not all of the Disney Plus, like, I loved what they're trying to do with the Mandalorian. I loved the intent of some of it, but I think that there was too much, and it wasn't really all like brought together, and some of it was bad. The Robert Rodriguez episodes of the Boba Fett like limited series were like,
Baba? It's Boba Fett.
Yeah, I
Whatever.
know. That's what I thought.
You fucking weirdo.
I feel like I'm gonna start saying vigilante again.
Boba Fett.
I
His middle
just
name's
feel like I feel like
Boba Fett.
there was, I don't know, they catered to, I don't know, I feel like I'm contradicting myself here too, because I'd say they were catering too much to children, but like Ewoks like this wasn't a new thing, so I don't know. Growing
It
up-
is a fine line to ride, but I think the world is rich for exploration, so it all depends on the vehicle, whether or not, you know, something good comes out of it.
I think Star Wars is an incredible universe, absolutely. But my personal enjoyment has been diminished over the years. with Star
You know
Wars.
what? A universe that I really, really liked for exactly one movie was Avatar. That first Avatar I thought was amazing. I did not like the second one, and I
I
haven't
didn't even
seen
see
it.
the second
I
one.
remember getting a ranty text after you got back from the second movie.
Well, it just felt like they took everything I liked about it and just, number one, either shat on it or distorted it. Like, how about the kids who talk like obnoxious teenagers in the real world? Like, what the fuck is that about? And then the fact that they brought, and then that it was simultaneously expanded outward in a way that I thought was kind of stupid, robbed everything that we thought was cool and special about it, just became very generic. And at the same time, they managed to completely duplicate the first movie. I mean, you bring back the same grizzled cliche bad guy, the same fucking guy. Like, he's dead. Why would you do that? Even if you technically can, give us a new villain. But I loved
you
the
know-
first movie. I thought it was great.
Okay, you know what? Okay, so you like the sequels way more than I do.
With The
but
Matrix.
Yes, I will say The Matrix might actually be my favorite world. Like, I love what that movie did. And I do wish there was a universe where the second movie and the third movie hit as hard as the first one.
What about that last one?
I liked the last one.
I believe you loved the last one at last accounting.
Yeah, well, I did, but
In a meta sense, though, more about what the movie
yes.
represented.
Yeah, it's not the movie that the first one is. It's not even the movie that the second and third one is. But it's kind of this weird meta fuck you. Like that's just it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, I haven't
And
rewatched it, but I thought it
I
was
haven't
great.
either. I haven't either. And I have a feeling if I rewatched it, I would not have any of the giddy enthusiasm that I did seeing it when it was new. Because I watched it like 3 times right in a row, and I'm like,
I'm
okay, I
actually
get what
curious
they're
if you can pinpoint why I, as one of the outliers in this, most people who love the first Matrix shit on the second and third. Like, not most, but a lot. Like, it's a significant thing. Can you tell why I like them? I'm curious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's Johnny Core. Like
The rave scenes.
yeah, the way that the architect just goes on and on and on and on, like that's how you write. Like that's
Wait, can
like,
you phrase that differently?
Could you make it less negative?
well, it's more okay. You just said it earlier in the thing where you're tying Future of Sex to this whole other thing. And I was like, well, is that about the reader or about the author? You're like, the author, bitch, right?
Yeah.
So the Wachowskis were like, the author, bitch. They did not put the viewer first. They put their own take on this universe first. And
But they
that's
certainly
how you,
caught this viewer.
yeah, right. But you were a kindred spirit.
But
Like,
that
you
is how
wanted-
I operate. So that's internally consistent. Like, I don't,
No, it's completely.
I've always
consistent.
written for me. And if you agree with me, great. And I suppose if I suddenly can't make money anymore because nobody agrees with me, then maybe I'll sell out. But for now, no, I write for me.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't surprise me at all that you like the second and the third ones. And
But it's not just because it's about the creators. It's because of the depth of the philosophy in it. That's why I think it's so
I love
interesting.
the depth of the philosophy. I think the ideas and in the Matrix, in all the Matrix movies, the ideas are phenomenally good. But I think that the second and third movies don't hold up as entertainment the way they should. And I think that even with the depth of philosophy, they could have been streamlined. There's choices that they could have made that would have made for a much better trilogy, and those choices weren't made. And I revisited those movies so many times, and every time I'm like, this is gonna be the one. I'm gonna like this.
You don't
just
have
as
to like
much.
the same things as me. I mean, I have that reaction to The Devil's Advocate,
No,
which
but
isn't a universe.
It's not even you. It's the Wachowskis. I want to love the Matrix. I want to love those 2 movies as much as I love the first
Yeah,
one.
but there's shit that they've done that I'm like, I want to love it too. Like Sense8, I wanted to love, but it's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here? It was way too complicated for me.
Sense8 was a little too full of itself, for sure.
I liked that one.
I love the premise. I love the premise. I loved a lot about Sense8, but I didn't think it held up.
Did you watch it all the way through, Dave?
Yes. I don't know if I ever watched. Didn't they do something to like close it up or something?
Yeah, they did a full movie instead
Yeah,
of.
I don't think I
season.
watched that because I'd forgotten everything and would need to rewatch it. So
Yeah,
maybe
I did. I don't think that totally holds up. I think that Cloud Atlas is kind of a mess, but it's a beautiful mess. I do enjoy.
Are you talking about the movie or the book?
the movie?
Okay, actually, I don't know why I asked because I haven't seen the movie. I thought the book was, now that was full of itself too, and I just didn't vibe with it in that case.
Yeah, it's. I love how ambitious it is, but I enjoy. I would say I enjoy Cloud Atlas more than I enjoy the third Matrix movie.
Interesting.
Okay, I know we're going to run out of time soon, so I want to, get to my other question.
Oh yeah,
but
you only need
first,
one question per episode.
Well, I did want. Was there another world that you wanted to talk about, Johnny?
No,
other
but get
than
to your
Dune,
other
or no?
question by all means.
Okay. Well, I also want to answer my first question. My favorite world is from A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones. I think that everything in that both television series, with the exception of that last season of the first one, the House of Dragons is. Have you seen that, Sean?
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
no, I,
did you-
I actually have not seen the last season of Game of Thrones.
Well, I have.
No, actually, I haven't seen the last half of that series. Because I was watching it with Cindy, and we got to the Black Wedding, and then she was
Red?
like, "Mercy," and so that was it.
Did you watch House of Dragons?
No.
It is so good, and the political machinations. I would say it's maybe better in a lot of ways. But what I love most about that world and some of the other worlds that I enjoy is there is a sense of history, a sense of like lived in world, kind of like with Battlestar Galactica. Everything feels like
I
it's
loved the
real.
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh yeah, me too. That's another world I love.
Supposedly Sam Esmail is going to reboot it again, but that's been for years. And
I've heard that it's on and off again. I don't know where it's currently at, but yeah, I would like to see that.
I would love to see what he would do with it. I think that's badass.
He's Mr. Robot Guy, and that's phenomenal as well. But okay, so yeah, I just love like the sense of mystery in the world building. Like there's just a whole world there, and just all these different, families and dynasties and stuff. It's almost like, real life history in its complexities, and also how, stories are told in, sometimes there's like dueling viewpoints, like history. Like there's this side of the story, but there's also this side, which is true. Well, fuck, who knows? So I kind of like that sort of like nebulous, mysterious element of it, and I think that's awesome. So now I'm going to get to my second question on the podcast before we wrap up.
7 minutes.
If you could write in any fictional world other than your own, what would it be? Well, whether it be a book, TV,
we know
or
Sean's.
anything.
It's Batman.
Comic, games.
Yeah, mine would be Batman. I don't know. This is another thing where I don't know if I would answer this question differently next month, but it's because of a project that I'm working on right now. This one is heavy on my mind. Yellowstone. So
because there's not enough of those.
Well, exactly. Like that's actually it. Like I love how they've expanded that world. Like so 18.
There's like another one out now. It's like every time you turn on the TV.
But that's it. But why? But what made me think of that is you talking about Game of Thrones. It's this dynasty and these families, and that's what Yellowstone is. But it's like the 1883, right? So it's the family is trying to keep their land in present day. That's Yellowstone. But then the prequels, which are really just spin-off series. One is 1923 with Harrison Ford. One is 1883, and 1883 is like basically Oregon Trail, the limited series. And I've watched it, I want to say 3 times now, which is a lot to watch a limited series. But I just think it's one of the best love stories that I've seen on TV in a long time. I think it's probably my favorite Western of all time. Like I love the shit out of it, and it's from a very simple premise. It's just this family protecting their land, but there's so much love and attention to detail in the world that you can really like pick up on small things. And so I don't know that I would actually want to write in that world. Maybe this is just admiration for how well it's been expanded that I'm responding to. But I could see setting a story in that world because I'm curious about the universe that he's built.
Johnny?
Well, I'm half tempted to say like dark or something, but that's not, it is a world, but that story is so tight, right? Like there's no room for anything else in that. And it's so intimidating. Like that was very difficult. What was the other series by the same people that one was really cool too?
It only made 1 season.
It was, it got canceled. I forget what it was.
Yeah, it got canceled.
I forget. I was really pissed about that because I wanted to watch it. And
same.
Then they canceled it. I'm like, wow.
Once I knew that they canceled it, I just skipped to the final episode and watched
it. Was on a ship. It was right.
Yeah.
It was like
it was on a ship. But then the do you know the spoiler? What
yeah.
happened?
Oh yeah.
No.
I didn't want to say it, but I know the spoiler. Yeah. But it was. Yes, and I love derelict craft stories too, like where they discover like a ghost ship or something. Like Triangle is fucking amazing, that movie.
Derelict craft is what we call Dave's missed deadlines.
I would like to write, just make a note, Sean, I would like to write a derelict craft story. I would really love to do that.
Just be called Derelict Craft because I really like that title.
That needs to be a name of somebody in Unicorn Heathens.
Dude, my something, well, okay, well, it's not my something cool, but just for the record, there's a character named Nestle Quick in Unicorn Heathens.
Oh yeah, I can't do that.
Johnny won't do it.
No, I don't think I can do Good and Plenty either. It's just too cute.
But you're gonna have Kool-Aid
Because that's different. That's not like a stock character. That's a guest appearance. Be all meta.
I'm writing Kool-Aid as a permanent fixture into the story.
Yeah, if you had named a character Kool-Aid Man, I would push back against that too. You guys don't even know. If you look down the cast roster of Unicorn Heathens, I wonder if I still have it open. Like, you should see, like, Sean got really cute here. We got hold on, Rawhide Strawberry, Ayahuasca, Sterling McAfee, Nestle Quick, Chloe Did It, Molly Shroom. Like, they're all just I mean, it goes Thelma Louise. Like, it just goes on and on. So I had to push back at some of them. So I would say that after that dark, I would probably go with Dune. But interestingly, knowing the guy who actually does write in the Dune world, I would think that would be super intimidating. Like, I wouldn't feel like I was at home. I would feel like when you're a guest in somebody's house, you can't ever really relax if you're not an asshole, because you're like aware that you're a guest. And that's the way I think it would feel. And Sean, it would be like when we wrote Pattern Black and I was trying to adhere to the rules set forth by a third party, and it was like too hard.
Yeah, I get that.
I would like to write in the Porky's cinematic universe.
Oh, sweet.
But I would make it serious and existential. No sex or any humor of any kind. It's just dark and depressing.
When you stick your dick through that hole, that goes into a new universe or something.
Yes. No, my actual... it would probably change depending when you asked me. But I would say probably... I would love to see a reboot, and it might even be happening, I don't know, but the New Mutants, the X-Men spin-off comic that was given a movie which did not do well. It needs to be a TV show. It needs to be done properly, and I think that is just rich with all the angsty cool shit I like, and the paranoia, and
Children in Jeopardy.
Children in Jeopardy, and it's just so cool, and the world is cool. The characters are deep, and that's why I always like Marvel more than DC. Even though I know Batman is different and he's a special flower, but Marvel to me, and this is back in the 70s and 80s when I read these, and into the 90s. DC, I read some DC, but it was usually very straight and narrow. It was good guy versus bad guy, no shades of gray, from what I remember. I could be remembering wrong, I don't know, but I loved
Shades of Gray.
Yeah, 50 Shades.
There you go.
But I loved Marvel. The scales of gray. So okay, well, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah, watch the Dave biopic. You Were Never Really Here as you're parting.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah. So thank you all for coming, and we will see you next time. With Johnny, or without right? Johnny. With or without? Well, I don't know.
All right. Bye, everyone. Until next time. Adios.
All right. Bye-bye.
They chase the spark. We own the dark. They feed the scroll while we leave a mark. No tricks, no hacks, just the code they lack. Yeah. We stay on the rails while they fall off the track. Smarter artists never die. Yeah. We don't lay stone for spectacle, don't frame for applause. We build the boring way, with discipline and pause. They expect the penthouse view before the footing is set. A crown without calluses, a win without sweat. The craft is in the mortar, not the hunger for more. Not the facade that cracks with a hollowed out core. You want the trick, it's tedious, it's thankless, it's true. Show up with intention till the structure starts showing you. They go fast, we go far. Paper planes versus iron bars. They chase spikes, we stack days. We build the house that never fades. Let them run, let them fly. Smarter artists never die. Yeah. They chase vanity metrics that die at the peak. We pour the slow foundations while they sprint for the streak. We don't rent our attention to whatever blows through. We're setting corner posts for storms they never knew. We're not racing to the ribbon, we're widening the base. Let the footing fully cure before the frame locks in place. Every draft's another course, every session's a beam. We're not chasing momentum, we're constructing the dream. They go fast, we go far. Paper planes versus iron bars. They chase spikes, we stack days. We build the house that never fades. Let them run, let them fly. Smarter artists never die. They'll throw parades while you're still setting the forms. Pop champagne and glass towers while you're bracing for storms. Some nights you wonder if the blueprint's a lie, if the long game's just patience that forgot how to fly. But scars become low bearing when the structure survives. When the fast builds crack open and the slow ones stay alive. We don't ask for permission, we don't wait to be seen. We're drafting our futures in the quiet in between.
They go fast, we go far. Paper planes versus iron bars. They chase spikes, we